Aloha United Way touches all of our lives, but I think a day doesn't go by that we're not impacted by these primary issues that Aloha United Way is addressing. How do we make sure that our families are truly economically self-sufficient? How do we ensure that our children have the best possible chance to succeed through early education? Aloha United Way is really looking at the root cause, trying to make change at a more systemic level. It takes agencies like Aloha United Way to really make a difference there.
It's amazing if you just watch a child go from not doing something and then one day they just see somebody else do it and go, hey, I can do that.
When kids first start coming to play morning, they're frequently very tentative. Usually by the time they've left the program, they're running in, feeling in charge, teaching other children. We see phenomenal self-esteem building. We see major increases in language skills and confidence and ability to work on their own.
It's important for kids to learn early on how to share and to treat other children and other people because those habits go on your whole life.
Children are capable of absorbing and processing more information before they are 5 years old than at almost any other time in the rest of their lives. The more they're able to learn and experience and start to put together at that age, the higher levels of success they have later on.
I think all of us, no matter where we live, are touched by poverty, either directly or indirectly. Whether it's emergency room costs going up and therefore affecting healthcare costs, whether it's crime rates, it could manifest itself in a weakening economy. I think that all of us have a vested interest in trying to raise the overall level of everybody in our community. It is a fabric, and when there's a loose thread in one part, it does affect the entire fabric as a whole. This community has been greatly impacted by the closing of the homeless shelters in town. We have 800 new homeless people in the last year. I think the key is going to be self-sufficiency. If you can get people out of crisis and gainfully employed, there's a degree of security that happens within the family. People become more healthy. And above all, people begin to have hope. Our Waianae Health Academy will graduate its 1,000th student. We have to really think about that because that's 1,000 people in a community of 40,000 that were basically on welfare, that are now trained in a job skill that there is a demand for. That's touching people's lives. That's making a change that's sustainable.
Self-sufficiency for a family is really a key to success. When families and individuals are self-sufficient, it enables them to do more rather than being the victim of poverty. The Earned Income Tax Credit is a refundable tax credit of up to $4,536 for 2006. Now, while that might not seem too much to you and I, what that represents to a minimum wage earner is approximately a 40% raise for the course of the year. And it also stimulates people to go back to work more than any other program does. It reinforces the concept of work, unlike welfare, which does not seem to reinforce the concept of work. I've been taking my students from my tax classes out to the shelters and have them help prepare a tax return for the residents at these shelters. They come back with a greater sense of self-worth, but they also find out that that person that they talked to, that person that was homeless, that really was not much different than they were. Essentially what has happened is that through life's misfortunes, one bad run of luck here or there, they are out of a place to live. But every day they get up just like the rest of us and they go to work. So those individuals really need the assistance that we can provide. Aloha United Way's involvement with the EITC outreach has greatly expanded the ability for us to serve individuals to help them get back this needed additional money. The Earned Income Tax has been shown to have lifted over 5 million Americans out of poverty, more than half of them children.
sometimes, you know, when you make a bad choice, it snowballs on you. That was from my heroin days. I got strung out on heroin when I was 16 years old. I got this just before my 18th birthday, and I almost lost my arm. I was actually homeless at one point, sleeping on cement. We didn't even have a car to live in. I didn't see that life could ever get better, even if I tried. When CPS took my children away, that was my wake-up call, really. That was the point at which I decided that I had to change my life because my children were more important than anything. So at that point, I decided to get into a treatment program. If I'd only had one chance or two chances, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I've actually had several relapses with drugs and had to pick up and start all over again. Getting clean was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and people believed in me. And then an agency showed me how I can, you know, change my life financially. They taught me how to budget, how to plan for the future, and that was what made the difference. Once I saw that it could be done, nothing was going to hold me back. Now, I'm moving into a tiny little apartment in Kailua with my kids. It is actually the, achievement of a lifelong goal for me. Without the support and help of the agencies that Aloha United Way funds, we're not going to make it, people like me. We wouldn't stand a chance. I always want to have a reminder right there where I can't lose it. What happens when you make the bad choices? I'm so grateful for the people who did care enough to give because it changed my life forever. When you think about it, you might be the difference in somebody's life.